Hey everyone, I'm Rather Coherent, and this is scenario 3 of the Innsmouth Conspiracy, and 2 Deep. Before I talk about anything else, I want to mention that I've changed my microphone setup a bit, changed the filters, moved it around, and based on my testing, I think it's strictly better than it used to be. But if I'm wrong and I've made it worse, please tell me what's going wrong so I can fix it, and if there is something that's been wrong that I haven't fixed, please tell me so that I can improve the setup. Now, before we start talking about the axe, the agendas, and the map, let's go look at the deck upgrades I've made since last time. Over here in the Trish deck, you can see that I've really just picked up Pendant of the Queen and my second black market. Pendant of the Queen is a completely broken card in Trish, and there's really not a lot to say about it. It's just incredibly strong, and if you have draw to find it, then you should be running it. Considering I have black markets and easy marks at this point, that's really all I feel I need to justify running it over working a hunch. And like I just mentioned about working a hunch, Pendant of the Queen is going to let me automatically evade enemies by finding clues just like working a hunch, so working a hunch is getting a little bit redundant. For the same reason that I feel like I can get the segment of Onyx consistently online now, I don't feel the need to have a second magnifying glass, cigarette case, or well connected. I'll find them eventually, it's just a matter of time. Going over to the Tony deck, I've bought a Switchblade over one of my Knuckle Dusters because it really is just a strict improvement over a Knuckle Duster, although I did briefly consider switching out a Mulzer instead. I've also cut my second well-connected. My experience so far has been that Tony is never getting his well-connecteds online. He just doesn't have the money for it without double-double or more economy. So having a one of well-connected seems like it doesn't even matter if I miss it. And if I do get it online, then great, but I'm really not even planning to at this point. It's just in case I'm wrong about the deck, and I probably should have cut both of them and kept the Knuckle Dusters. I've also added Gios, but kept my Overpowers. But the point of the deck is once you're fully set up, you don't need skills. Right now, without the Black Fan, and without more draw and more economy, I don't feel like I can reliably get fully set up, so I'm running Overpowers in case I don't hit the Gios. That's basically the entirety of it. The deck upgrades for N2 Deep really aren't that complicated. We have a 4-agenda deck. The first one is Barricaded Streets, which unfortunately is just a quote. And suspect enemies lose aloof and cannot be parlayed with. Forced when your turn ends, if you're at a fully flooded location, take 1 damage. So these are not standard drowning rules, you just don't want to be at fully flooded locations because they'll slowly kill you. Over here we have a 1-act deck, Through the Labyrinth. Inhuman creatures patrol the streets of Innsmouth, hunting for you and more of your kind. Just make your way to the other end of town and escape, but perhaps more of your memories can be recovered if you explore the town of Innsmouth further. As a lightning bolt, we can spend 3 clues as a group to remove 1 barrier between my location and a connecting location. Our objective is to get to the railroad and resign, the railroad being the exact opposite side of Innsmouth. Also, apparently when I reloaded my save, my desolate coastline location just ceased to exist. Let me see if reloading the save can fix that. Okay, yeah, it's back now. I'm not too sure what caused that to happen. Since apparently things can just vanish when you load a save, I'm going to quickly make sure that the barricades look correct. Okay, yeah, the barricades are correct, nothing to worry about there. Last time I recorded, I did all the setup before quitting, and I was wondering why I had this suspect deck and I didn't remember them being in Innsmouth. If we had beat any of the suspects up who weren't actually the criminal, they'd be out for blood and they would spawn and be a problem in the scenario. But as I didn't actually, accost anyone who wasn't the criminal, I don't need any of those suspects. None of them are out for blood and we're safe. So let's get into it. Let's add our draw buttons, make sure there's no curses in the bag, and start our mulligans. Over here we have Milan and Pocket Telescope. Pocket Telescope really won't be too helpful, but the rest of this is great. Yeah, that's a fantastic opening hand for Trish. That's pretty much everything I could possibly want. Coming over to Tony, our opening hand for him will be pretty damn good, it seems. We don't need Preposterous Sketches, Overpower in the opening hands. I think I will hold Lucky Cigarette Case. It's just a 1 of in his deck now. Oh no, it's not. That's Trish. I think there's a decent number of threatening enemies in the bag. I want to make sure I find a weapon, so I'll toss the cigarette case, I think. Well, we've got a weapon, and we've got tons and tons of draw, so that's pretty good for Tony. Our starting location is a 2-shroud, 1-clue location that cannot have barriers placed connecting to it. The gimmick for N2 Deep is that there are barriers between locations. You cannot move through a barrier, and you have to spend players plus 1 clues, in our case 3, to remove the barriers to get through. The optimal strategy for this to get to the end is fairly straightforwardly to just go through the straight line path, whichever one it is, that has the least barriers on it. However, if you want to get the maximum amount of victory, then you're just going to be snaking your way through the whole city, which is actually a very low barrier path as well. It just takes much, much more time to get through it. So, first turn, this is going to be fairly straightforward. I'm going to play Milan for all of my resources. I'm going to investigate at, I believe, 5-2. Auto fail. Trish is continuing as she started. Let's actually remember to play Burning the Midnight Oil this time, 5-2 again. This time I will get the clue and the money from Milan. I didn't play Black Market this turn. That's actually not something I think is a mistake. I didn't want to Black Market on turn 1. I want to play Deep Knowledge before I Black Market. I don't know why I want to do that. I guess it's not actually really correct. I guess I feel that it gives me a more informed decision about where my black market should be going, but the opposite's also true, that black market informs where the deep knowledge is going. So really, it's not obviously correct either way, and I'm not sure what the correct play here is. But I'll be drawing 3 cards on Tony. Cool. There's Ancient Evils. Thank you, Tony. We are not going to be stopping this doom. That is just happening. There is absolutely nothing I can do about that one. Unlike Agnes's weakness, which is often just Ancient Evils, I feel like Tony is actually strong enough to justify being played, despite costing us an Ancient Evils. Now, I don't actually feel great about my hand here for Tony. If I play Lonnie, I have very little income. Like, I'm just relying on hitting income with my You Handle This. Or not my You Handle This, my Easy Mark. So I don't want to play Lonnie unless I draw into a card that is... Okay, I play Lonnie. I'm fully set up. Nice. I was going to say that without money, I can't play Black Market because I wouldn't be able to play the cards from it, but that's no longer an issue. Switchblade is fast and 1 cost, so this is just... cool. I might just be Black Marketing Trish then, because I don't need anything else on Tony. With a Knuckle Duster, I would want more bonuses than this, but with the Switchblade, I actually don't need anything else. I can just take Lonnie and Switchblade all the way to the finish line. Anyway, Upkeep Phase, we get a Mulzer, not relevant at all. It's completely useless with a Switchblade, and an Eldritch Sophist, which again isn't really relevant. Apparently I forgot to click my Doom down. We're at 1 of 6 Doom. Let me make sure it's not like at 3 Doom for a reason that I forgot from setup. No, it's not supposed to be at 3 Doom. That's just me being bad at the game. So 1 of 6 Doom, evil cards. I don't know if I shuffled the deck. Looks like I did. I don't think Deep One assaults first alphabetically. It's unfortunate for Trish to pull this because it means that we have to, you know, take damage on her that should have been on Tony. So normally emerging Deep One wouldn't do anything. Since we're not in a fully flooded location, it would enter exhausted. But Deep One Assault says that it spawns engaged with us instead of its normal conditions. So it would attack us because our location is partially flooded. We are on the coastline, which I think just makes it straightforwardly the lurking Deep One. I could take Deep One Bull, honestly. I'm taking Deep One Bull. I'm just getting him out of the way now. And I'm just going to swing over repeatedly on Tony. That's a little bit optimistic, isn't it? I forgot that I was only up a little bit. That's not a little bit, actually. I'm up 4. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So what's your engage effect? Choose and discard a card from your hand. Goodbye, Eldritch Sophist. Over here, for Tony, we get Tidal Alignment. We don't have any say in the matter, so we're going to be taking 1 damage and increasing our location to fully flooded. I could do with a little bit more money than this on Tony, so I'm actually going to play 2 bounties onto the Deep One Bull. I'm not going to use the full 3. That seems like it could end up costing me the ability to use my ability later, but I do really want the resources now. And we don't actually need to worry about using actions to leave this location to avoid taking damage. Tony has both shortcuts in hand. So first action, I play Switchblade. It's a fast action. And then I'm going to stab over Trish at +4 4 consecutive times. So, I need to succeed by 2. -2 or less will deal 2 damage. -4, -3 will deal 1 damage. So that's going to be 2 damage dealt. Curse into -1, that's 1 damage dealt. I should have removed a curse there. That's 2 damage dealt. Deep One Bull is dead. I won't be using those shortcuts because I don't need to. I'm just going to hold them. But I will be claiming my 2 bounties and moving to the last location for my next action. If you don't think Tony is stupid, I don't know what to tell you. The Innsmouth Harbor is a 1 shroud, 2 clue location. After you enter this location, I can choose to move to the next location as a free action. I can also use this double action parlay to remove a barrier. I'm not super interested in sending Tony ahead to the next location. I'm fine with leaving here and getting rid of this barrier because we will get moved back sometimes by the encounter deck. And it's nice to have more ways through, and Tony doesn't have anything to do with his time right now, other than protect Trish and kill that barrier. Over here for Trish, she'll be moving up. It's another 1 shroud location. Sounds like a great place to play my cigarette case. We're going to investigate at 5 to 1. Skull is -1. That triggers the cigarette case and Milan. Drawing a card, gaining a resource, and getting a clue. That'll be our last action for the turn, leading to upkeep phase. Another shortcut. We can move around the map very quickly at this point, and I might just start playing them to go faster. Top of the round, 2 of 6 Doom and evil cards. Oh, I forgot to mention this at setup. The black key is down here on Shorewood Slums. It's just wherever the hideout was previously. Under Toe, the east side is partially flooded. This will go into my threat area. Trish couldn't get rid of this very easily, but Tony is here and he'll be discarding cards to test this for her. My location is flooded, so I'll be testing 3 foot. Oh, that is brutal. This is a bad time to get Riptide. Riptide is absolutely brutal here. It may as well just be Crypt Chill for Tony. What can we commit to this? I don't need the Mulzer. Does Trish have anything she doesn't need? I commit in the shadows to this. That puts me up equal +4. I don't want to lose Lonnie or Switchblade at all. Get it out of here. That's the fastest I'll ever commit in the shadows to something. That's very helpful. Over here for Tony, I've accepted that I'm not going to be playing Well Connected on him, as I expected. I discard Well Connected to test this Undertow at 6-3. I'm not going to commit anything to this. Curses suck, but if I get a curse, I can just discard another card because this is a Lightning Bolt. There's no limit to how many times I can try per turn. Oh, or I can just roll -4. I'll say goodbye to my Colts and try again. Get it out of here. I'm going to use a double action to parlay this token away, and I'm going to draw a card. Over here for Trish, first let's investigate at 5-1 and draw a card. Easy game. I'll be taking my resource as well from Milan. That wasn't helpful at all. Well, I did just commit my signature asset, which is usually here specifically for this. And I may just be ending my turn now and taking 2 damage. What are the penalties for failure here? Place 1 Doom. He'll be dead next turn, so it won't matter. Take 1 Horror. Place your clues down. Yeah, those suck. And there's no clues left at my location either, so I can't even just engage it with Tony so that she can kill it instantly next turn. No, I can because of all the shortcuts. But I really don't have anything to do here other than just end my turn and get hit for 2. Which does suck, but it's what's happening. Upkeep phase. Until reports and black markets are nice to see. 3 of 6 Doom, evil cards. Well, our location goes to fully flooded. And over here for Tony, I can either lose 3 resources on everyone, take 2 Horror on everyone, replace 1 Doom on the current agenda. The Horror is absolutely not happening. Also, I've just realized that I started Trish's numbers backwards. She should be at 6 and 6, because she should have started at 8 and 6, not 6 and 8. The Horror is still not happening, though. I think I'm just going to take this as Ancient Evils this time. That does suck a lot. I don't need the resources here on Tony right now. And Trish, from what he can see of his board, without like blatantly cheating and looking at her hand to make the decision, she's basically fine. But I know that I want to black market Trish this turn and let her set up. So I'm going to make this Ancient Evils. I don't want to take your resources away on the turn that I'm black marketing her. Thinking of, as Tony moved to black market Trish, I want her to find a magnifying glass so she can hit higher shot locations. Or Jeremiah Kirby, that works as well. Those are all very good cards that we can spend most of our turn playing. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That seems fine to me. I don't feel the need to play a second black market on Trish here. As Tony, I'm going to go first. I am going to play this Faustian Bargain and this Deep Knowledge on Tony. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 curses to the bag. Tony needs more money, but he doesn't need it right now. Trish is actually going to be the one playing a Well Connected. She's going to take all the resources. And for Tony, I would like more cards. Specifically, I would really, really like to see Heavy Furs. So I'll be taking at least 1 of the cards on him. All right, having found Deep Knowledge, I'm going to put the other 2 onto Trish. And as my last action, I am going to engage the Shadow Agents. I will then shortcut both myself. Actually, I'll keep the other shortcut on Trish. I'll just shortcut on Tony to get him out of here. The house on Water Street is a 2 Shroud, 2 Clue location. After it's revealed, I randomly choose a face-down key. And as a Lightning Bolt, I can choose and discard 1 card from my hand to parlay and remove a barrier between this location and a connecting location. I don't think I need the second Lonnie. But I also don't need this ability right now, and I can wait a turn to do it. So let's see if we get something better to discard. Over here on Trish, I'm going to follow Tony up. This is not a hard location to break at all. I need to investigate first, and if I miss, it's going to really suck because I won't be able to play Jeremiah Kirby or Easy Marks. I guess I never get to play Easy Marks this turn anyway. No, that's a reason to play Shortcut on Trish, is to save the action to play the Easy Marks. I'm going to play Jeremiah Kirby as my first action for 5 resources, or 4 rather. As always, I'm declaring even, although it's a lot worse now than it used to be, because of these segments of Onyx. Still, it's the better choice in this deck. Next, I'm going to investigate at 6 to 2. I was wondering if it was right to do odd because of segment of onyx and magnifying glass. Not sure. At 6 to 2, we pass by -3. We don't get our cigarette case that we do get Milan. Anyway, we come up here, we take one clue, we trigger Trish's ability, and evade an enemy at our location, which instantly kills the shadow agents. And last action, I'll just be investigating at 6 to 2 again. No, I'm going to play Easy Mark and then Easy Mark from the board to gain 4 resources and draw 2 cards. Deduction's nice. Second Jeremiah Kirby means I have Soak to burn. That's Crisis sorted. Everything's going well for us. Upkeep phase. Hands too full. Probably should have played a segment of Onyx. Can we just imagine I did that last turn? Because it's fast and I just forgot it's broken. Cool. Glad we're all on board with that. Chaos over here for Tony is great. It's basically the only thing he needs to draw for anyway. Top of the round, 5 of 6 Doom and Evil cards. Undertow again. Tony will be discarding cards to fix that. Yeah, this location is flooded as well. The whole East Coast is. Glad we didn't remove this previously, because now we're placing barriers down between all adjacent locations. So it would have been a completely wasted action. I'm going to put 1 black market onto Tony. That just seems like it's worth doing. I have a second one anyway. Unfortunately, these cards aren't just in my hand. I can only play them, so I can't discard them. That would be incredibly helpful if I could. Leo is helpful. Charisma is here. That's actually very good then. I think I'll go first as Trish, because these are both lightning bolts, the things that Tony needs to do. Okay, this took me longer to realize what I should be doing than it should have. I play another Faustian Bargain as Tony, adding 2 more curses to the bag. I give myself 2 of the resources, or is this... Yeah, that's enough money. I give the other 3 to Trish. I use those resources to play Leo DeLuca and Heavy Furs. That gives me my last action. Do I have enough curses left in the bag? Yeah, I was wondering if I was unable to play Deep Knowledge for a second there. I'm going to draw 3 cards on Tony because I know I need to discard them. Preposterous Sketches is an easy discard for me. I should actually spend my money for the things I've played. And with that discard, we're going to trigger the ability on House on Water Street to kill this barrier. For Trish's Undertow, the least valuable card in hand for Tony, at this point, is Lonnie Ritter. He's not going to die. We're testing at 6 to 3. I don't have anything to commit for this, and it's probably going to fail as a consequence of all these curses. Let me give it a shot a couple of times. I'm never going to have the money to play this intel report, so I'll toss it and try again. Squid. I don't have clues to lose, but I still fail. I'm going to keep going because I'm fine with digging curses out of the bag, and I would rather get rid of the damage. I don't actually need these easy marks. -3, there we go. Get this out of here. On Trish's turn, I have no desire to play these weapons in Tony's black market, but I will play my Well-Connected and my Segment of Onyx for 3 resources. This should be back in my deck. Going to investigate 6 to 2. Poultice is -2, that's a pass by 2 exactly. Draw a card, gain a resource. Magnifying Glass will spend that resource immediately. That gives us the last clue on the location, as well as this key, which is the green key. Last action, we'll move to a new location. Marsh Refinery is a 3-shroud, 1-clue location. As a lightning bolt, if you have a key, you can move to a connecting location. As an action, you can discard an asset to parlay remove 1 barrier. I'm not really in the business of having unimportant assets, so we'll be ignoring that and using the lightning bolt to move down. At Fish Street Bridge, we have 1 shroud, 4 clues. It gets +1 shroud for each barrier between it and connecting locations, which is only 2 right now. As an action, I can add even more curse tokens to the bag to get rid of a barrier. We're kind of capped out on those at the moment. I need Trish very specifically to not draw inundated right now, because that would be very, very bad for us. But that's the end of our phase, upkeep phase. Intel report could be nice later, deduction is great right now. And 6 Doom, we advance the agenda. The tide creeps in as you make your way through the decrepit streets. You hear the blood-curdling cries of someone in agony up ahead. The moment you see the creatures patrolling the intersection, you hide in the broken-down doorway of a ruined building. Their unusual gait and croaking voices send shivers through your body. Even as the slapping of their webbed feet against the road fades into the distance, you cannot escape the feeling that inevitably they will find you. We're going to come increase the last coastal location to fully flooded, and we're going to shuffle the set-aside Ravagers from the deep and young ones into the encounter deck, along with the discard pile. Next agenda has 5 Doom, another quote. Suspects would still be threatening if they were in the game, and same flooding rules. No, not quite the same. Now we take a horror as well. Evil cards. Emerging deep one spawns, exhausted and unengaged, so my location is not even partially flooded. Over here for Tony, we have an Innsmouth Troublemaker, which will be spawning with Trish, unfortunately. I will be putting a bounty on the Innsmouth Troublemaker for sure. At the start of the investigation phase, I'm going to black market Trish with her own black market. Because if we can find working a hunch, that makes the turn a lot easier. With only 3 cards left in the deck, I know for a fact I will hit working a hunch if I play another black market on Tony, so I do just that. I reveal 3 cards from Trish's deck. Oh, that actually is even better than working a hunch. It gets my Pendant of the Queen finished. And my 2 remaining cards, these should be back in my deck by now, so let's make sure we're not cheating. I will be revealing 2 cards from Tony. I'm going to go first on Trish because she's going to be completely safe, and the only way she can get hurt is if Tony goes first. I'm going to spend 1 resource playing the Segment of Onyx from my black market to put the Pendant of the Queen into play. As a random thing that hasn't come up yet, when I have characters with both secrets and charges, I use clues to indicate charges and resources to indicate secrets to make sure that we never get them crossed up with Eldritch Sophist. I could use Pendant of the Queen right now to deal with this man, but I don't actually need to, and it's a limited resource, so instead I'm going to spend 2 resources to play this Working a Hunch, to find a clue at my location for free, and I'm going to use my ability as Trish to evade this man in addition to that. No, that is not where I want you to go, sir. I'm at 7-3 on this location's Shroud value, and I think I am fine just hanging out here getting the clues. I'm going to investigate with burning the Midnight Oil to gain 2 resources. I won't be triggering my cigarette case this turn, I don't think. I want to shuffle these cards back in. I guess I've only played cards I want to have back anyway, though, so it's not really important. Hard to say. Regardless, I'm going to investigate at 6-3, and if I don't do well, I don't even have to think about it. I do have to think about it. What's actually in my graveyard? Shadow Agents. I think I'd like to go longer without shuffling Shadow Agents back in. If I draw it this turn, it could be really obnoxious. No, it couldn't. I have Pendant of the Queen. I'll take the Horror, and I'll draw the card with Lucky Cigarette Case. And I forgot to take the clue with that investigate check. I also forgot to get the resource from Milan I'm willing to bet because I just stopped and debated whether or not I wanted to cycle my deck with Lucky Cigarette Case immediately. I'm just going to investigate 2 more times. I'm not really in any urgent pressure to leave, and I don't feel like using deductions on this part. I guess the big argument for not cycling my deck yet would be I want to find a high shroud location and use deductions before I did. That would have been a good reason not to cycle my deck and would have been the correct choice, but oh well, here we are. That'll be a fail. Actually, I'm at 7-3. That will be an exact pass. And the last one is -1. I will be taking 2 clues. For Tony, I'm going to spend his first 2 actions walking into this location. Actually, if I go to Fish Street Bridge, nope, it only goes to Water Street, so I have to go 2 locations no matter what route I take. I'm going to try to kill the Troublemaker first. He's the real threatening enemy. I'm swinging twice at 8-4. I need to hit -2 or less to kill him in 2 hits. That's 2 damage. And that's 2 damage again. He's dead. I will claim my bounty. And as my last action, I'm going to go stab this emerging deep one at 7-8-3. It's just weird how good Tony is. 0, he's dead too. Upkeep phase. Trish gets her working a hunchback, which is actually very helpful. Tony gets a cigarette case, which he's been needing since we didn't get to play it off the first black market. 1 of 5 Doom and Evil cards. Ravager from the Deep. After he engages me, I test 2 Fist. And if I fail, I place a barrier to my west. Tony, sadly, does not have any Fist to commit. He's already discarded his Long Colt, I believe. Well, nothing to do. Take your 2 Fist check and place the barrier. Oh. Alright, cool. I don't have to do that then. For Tony, he's got that Innsmouth look. I'll take a sanity down, and it's not like I was planning on investigating with book with Tony this game, but it's definitely not an option anymore. I think I just go first with Tony, then I spend the action to engage this man. No reason not to. I'm going to play Gios, going to engage that enemy. I'm going to stab him twice. If that fails, I can free action kill it, or evade it rather, with Trish's ability. For some reason, I don't want to put a bounty on this guy, I just don't feel like I need to. I'm up so much. It's only got 2 Fist. I'm up 7. I need to pass by 5 to get it killed. That's 2 damage. That's 4 damage. Get him out of here. Yeah, just Tony's too good at killing to need the bounty on that one. For Trish, I'm going to have her move down. We're going to do Shorebird Slums. Oh, wait a second. These locations apparently are all coastal. I thought only the eastmost edge were coastal. So all of this should be partially flooded. I don't think that affected anything. The emerging deep one is the only thing that's had any bearing on that, and it only matters if it's fully flooded. So yeah, nothing changes, but it is worth noting that I was wrong about that. Anyways, the Shoreward Slum is a 2-shroud, 2-clue location. After it's revealed, I choose a face-down key and put it here. Take 1 damage to parlay a barrier away. That sounds like something Tony would love to do. With Trish's actions, again, I just don't need to use deductions or Pendant of the Queen on this. It's kind of beneath my pay grade. I investigated 7-2 twice. Let's pull again until we get a curse token and then do it. Okay, that's -5. That's still a pass. Don't waste my time. -4, still a pass. Get out. Someday I'll have to actually start using clues to get out of these, but right now it's not true. I'm not going to do the parlay on Trish. Her health is somewhat less infinite than Tony's, and Tony can get rid of the barrier next turn. So we're going to go straight into upkeep phase. Pocket Telescope this year. Hopefully we won't have to discard it this time. Did I mulligan Pocket Telescope and nothing else and forget to put her mulligan back? Or did I discard it for something? I hope I discarded it for something and didn't forget the mulligan phase again. Second Heavy Furs is sort of irrelevant, but it's a nice to have, I guess. And I didn't pay for Gios last turn. That was all of my money to play Gios previously. I just forgot to do it. 2 of 5 Doom and Evil cards. Test 3 head. If you fail, move east 1 location. Oh, it's the gross one. Is there an action to pick up keys in this scenario for some reason? I'm a little bit confused. There are no special notes about keys. After scenario setup, there's barriers and location adjacency. And this tells me what the keys represents, but there's no note about keys having different rules. And this Mythos card specifies that you drop each of your keys after you move east. I guess that would be inconvenient if you hadn't gotten the clues in previous locations. I guess it's for that. I guess it's if it's pushing you to a clue location, that'll be a problem. But the way I'm playing the game, that just says you drop all your keys, and because the clues are all gone, you pick them back up as a lightning bolt and it does nothing. Tony can actually come down here and get rid of all the barriers if he has to, so it sucks that she's going to fail this, but it's also fine. And we get curses out of the bag, so it's actually, like, perfectly fine. I'm super happy to remove 2 curses. Not thrilled to deal 2 damage to Tony, but I'll live. And I drop my key. And since there are no clues here, I use a lightning bolt to pick it back up at some point during the next turn. Increase the flood level of the nearest location that can. That's going to be going on my location. And then we're going to go to the next one. Tony needs to go first. He comes down. Oh, she should also have the black key. And she should also have that face down key. Because she got all the clues last turn, nothing was stopping her from getting them. As Tony, I'm going to take 2 damage and kill my Heavy Furs to remove both of these barricades. Then I'm going to gain a resource and play a new Heavy Furs, which I immediately put 1 damage on to kill this barricade. Tony has been very broke. He's not looking like much of a big money deck this game. For Trish's turn, first action she moves left, second action she moves left again to the Innsmouth jail. It's 3 shroud, 2 clues. I spend 3 resources to parlay and remove a barrier. If you control the black key, I can parlay to read a flashback. I do, so I will. We're going to check out flashback 8. Under memories recovered, I'm going to record a jailbreak, and I'm going to choose and remove a token from the bag. I remember in later scenarios, squids and cultists and tablets were all differently very bad. And that removing the Elder Thing symbol wasn't really obviously the correct choice, but I'm still going to keep removing this just for, like, right now it's much, much better, and later on it's debatable. Anyway, this is still only 3 shroud. This should all go back in my deck for both characters, actually. No one's drawn any cards since the investigator phase started, so it's not a big deal. And I'll just be investigating at 7-3, I guess. Pocket Telescope really doesn't do anything in this scenario. I have no reason to play it. I'm going to all of the locations. And I know that this is the one where the Shoggoth at it, so I don't need to worry about what that location does, I know. I'm just going to investigate at 7-3. Seems good. That'll trigger my magnifying glass, or my Milan, rather. There's a clue at my location, so I'm not afraid of shadow agents, which I didn't hit anyway, off of my lucky cigarette case. That's the end of the round, so upkeep phase. Trish is obsessive now, which will be mildly annoying during her turn, and I have to discard a card. It'll be the Pocket Telescope. Tony got another spare weapon. We'll be discarding that from events at some point. Oh, damn it. This should have advanced a round earlier. Because Tony's Quarry wasn't playing, I forgot to click this stupid ticker. I don't think it affected anything, but I'll add the Doom now. It just, like, gives me a slightly higher chance of having drawn the Ravagers and Emerging ones slightly earlier. But I don't think that's a very big deal in terms of encounter odds with that. So as long as I remember to add the Doom to this agenda, I think we've mostly covered it. So awkward thing, for the life of me, I can't remember if I added Doom before I noticed that or not. I'm pretty sure that I did, but I'm going to go check the recording to make sure I did. Okay, yeah, everything's good. We were at 2 Doom during the previous turn. Let's draw our evil cards. Over here we get Riptide. Our location is not flooded, so it gains Surge. Young Deep One will take a horror immediately. Sorry about that, Milan. Over here we got an emerging Deep One on Tony. I think the plan here is for Tony to deal with all the enemies. He's not going to have time to deal with the Shoggoth this turn. So Trish will just use her ability to get a free clue with Pendant of the Queen and automatically evade the Shoggoth. If it's Elite and that doesn't work, I'll use Pendant of the Queen to evade the Shoggoth and then get a clue by investigating with Trish's ability. Because Pendant of the Queen works on Elite enemies for some inexplicable reason. So yeah, none of this is a problem, but we do need to kill all of it. So let's get started on Tony. And there is enough of it that I'll need a bounty. I'll plus a bounty down on the emerging Deep One. 3 Shroud, 2 health. Shroud? Fight. Regardless, it's dying in 1 hit. It's very dead. I'll take my bounty. My mouse is freaking out a little bit, but we're fine. I'm gonna move to the next location where Trish is engaged with this enemy. And I think I'm just punching over. I think I like the actions. I just want to punch it twice and walk up. If I auto-fail, Trish only takes 1 damage. She has a second Jeremiah in hand, though she might discard it in a hot second. So I'm just going to punch twice. I believe in Tony. Maybe I shouldn't have. -4, remove a curse. -4 puts me from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 5. That's still 2 damage. So just need to hit with a second one. It's dead. Last action, I'm going to walk up. Here in the Innsmouth Square, we have a 4 Shroud, 2 Clue location. After it's revealed, spawn the set-aside Innsmouth Shoggoth at this location, exhausted. Oh, it's not even going to do anything this turn. I forgot it spawned exhausted. The Innsmouth Shoggoth is a 3/4/2 enemy. It gets +2 health per investigator, so it's actually a 3/8/2 enemy. It's a massive hunter. It ignores barriers when it moves via its keyword, and after it moves through a barrier, it kills them. It also hits for 2/2, and it's victory 1. 8 health, hitting for 2/2 is kind of spooky, but Tony's going to be able to kill this no problem. Because it turns out that it's a wanted man, or a wanted thing. Calling it a man is probably a bit inaccurate. Over here on Trish, I'm going to investigate at 7-3, as I have been doing for a very long time. That passes, but does not trigger Cigarette Case. It will trigger Milan, though. I think I'll shortcut myself up, just because I have them clogging up my hand. And I want to make sure I get to investigate successfully here this turn. Investigate 7-4. No need to use Seduction, there's an enemy here. -3, that's the number I pass by. I use Trish's ability and get both clues. And last action, I'll move up again. The new church grain is a 3 Shroud, 2 Clue location. Forced after it's revealed, choose a face down key. There are no clues, parlay, remove a barrier between this and a connecting location for an action. No penalty. Nice. Oh, let's imagine I did this lightning bolt while I was here. I forgot it did more than the Shoggoth. Trish had 2 keys. She was just here. We used the lightning bolt to get flashback 5. In flashback 5, we're going to record a deal with Joe Sargent, and we're going to put him into play under control of somebody at Edson Square. We were both there. Trish doesn't have to kill all the enemies in this scenario, so I'm giving it to Tony. Because Joe Sargent is a 1/2 soak ally, he's not great for taking damage, but he does give you 3 fast action moves per game, and that's pretty good. So that's the end of the round. Upkeep phase. Tony draws Overpower. He's not allowed to play that, or he'll fill the bag with curses. I forgot to use Trish's thing, which I probably should have done at some point, but oh well. I didn't specify, so I'm going to reshuffle. Working a hunch is not particularly valuable to me. I'd actually much rather lose it than something like Deduction. I'm discarding the card on the right. Hey, it's exactly the worst case scenario. That's fine, though. It's likely to happen anyway. And we'll be doing it again because I just forgot about Obsessive. Someday I'll stop making that exact mistake. This readies and engages with Tony, but it's massive, so it doesn't get moved. 5 of 5 Doom. Let's advance the agenda. A crowd gathers in the town square. At first, you're relieved to see faces not bearing hideous, monstrous features. Prodigious bulging eyes, wide jaws filled with sharp, jagged teeth, the gills, fins, and webbings that suggest something fish-like and inhuman. Then you hear one voice rise above the den, and your heart turns to ice. The time is nigh. The order of Dagon commands you. Slay the outsiders and any who stand in our way, and you shall be rewarded. You shall be remade and share in the riches of the deep, a robed man shouts. The crowd rejoices in jubilant madness. The flood level of each midtown location increases. which is everything except for the last row, yes? Makes me feel a little bit like I'm behind schedule, but that's fine. We're also going to spawn the set-aside angry mob with a key at the square. Tony has his work cut out for him. And I say I feel like I'm behind schedule, but it feels like Tony's exactly where he should be, and considering I haven't been using Trish's clues, so I can just remove barriers at will, I feel like we're right on time, honestly. I will be go ahead and putting my last bounty on the angry mob. I'm hoping I get a star at some point, and I'll be able to get another bounty for just like a random troublemaker or something in the event deck. But I need to make sure that I'm getting extra actions while I kill these two boss enemies. And I'm in no danger as Tony here. I can probably kill one of them this turn, but Trish can also evade one of them as a free action with Pendant of the Queen. So this is completely under control. Let's start with Tony. Shoggoth is definitely the more threatening of the two enemies and also the easier to kill. So we're going to be swinging at 9-3 until we've dealt 8 damage. Let's go ahead and get both of their health trackers out. Alright, these are the correct health values. They both have 3 fists. We have 9 fists with the Switchblade. So we pass at -6 and we deal 2 damage at -4. Let's get starting with the Shoggoth. That is a reasonable number. That's 2 damage, 4 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage. Shoggoth's dead. I will collect my bounty, gain $1, and put this bad boy in the victory display. Last action, I'll go ahead and keep stabbing against the angry crowd. Curse, and that total is -4, which is still 2 damage. This is why I have Gias and Tony. It's not just that it makes him a flex character that's better, but it will consistently change the outcome of Switchblade from 1 to 2 damage. I think it happened twice during this turn. With Trish's turn, I'm going to make a point to use my Pendant of the Queen to toss out and evade against this angry mob. May as well make sure that Tony's completely and totally safe. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can save it for something else. Tony's got Lonnie and resources and heavy furs in play. He just takes 1 physical damage if I don't evade them. It really doesn't do anything. I was thinking that maybe I should be using Joe Sargent to push Tony up to the top, but honestly, Trish can just circle around while he deals with the mob, clear out these locations, and let Tony walk straight over. So, yeah, I have so many resources that I don't feel like I need right now. Are there 4 shroud locations in this scenario? Because, like, I don't feel like there are. I'm going to be spending 4 clues, though, or 3 clues, rather, to kill that barrier as a fast action. And after that, I guess I just investigate at 7-3 twice. I'm going to use deduction just to save time, 8-3. Every time with you, Trish. I swear to God, either 4 or 5 of our autofails have been deduction checks. Well, I'm going to use deduction again and hope I discarded the other one. Fair game, alright. Going to investigate at 7-3 twice. Cool. One of those should have triggered cigarette case, and I just was on tilt and didn't mention it. I'll take my money from Milan, my draw from cigarette case. And at this point, I have 2 intel reports, Pendant of the Queen. We're done, we just have to get there. I get hit for 1-1 over the enemy phase on Tony. I'll take the damage on myself, the horror on Lonnie. And I'll use her window before the upkeep phase to spend a resource and heal both of these away. Then we'll take our upkeep phase. Overpowers are very irrelevant at this point in time. Faustian Bargain is again not quite what we need. For Doom, I believe the last one's only 3, but we can clear out all these locations in that time frame. Evil cards. Deep One Bull is back. Yeah, if I had remembered that we were shuffling the encounter deck at the end of the first agenda, I wouldn't have picked Deep One Bull. That is definitely true. I had to check if Angry Mob had the tag Deep One like there were fish in it. I didn't know for sure. That's very relevant for Deep One Bull, and I think we're just going to be ditching this guy. I'm pretty sure that Deep One Bull and all the other normal enemies are going to respect the barriers when they hunt, right? Yeah. So, since Deep One Bull respects the barriers, we can ditch him pretty easily. Anyway, for Tony's card, you got a young Deep One. He'll be taking 1 horror on Lonnie. Tony's going to be busy murdering for a while, so we're going to have to ignore this Deep One Bull. We will not be killing the young Deep One this turn, unfortunately, because we do need to worry about the mob first. If we kill the young deep when the bull comes to us and Tony never gets to move. Let's take Tony's turn first and get to stabbing. It's going to take a minimum of 5 stabs our entire turn to kill this enemy. Again, it has 3 fists, we have 9, which means at -6 we deal 1, and -4 we deal 2. 2 damage, 4 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage. Get him out of here. Mob dead. Tony will take the key. Tony's a little bit gross, I'm not gonna lie. Not as gross as Pendant of the Queen, though. This man is evaded. I said so. Get him out. And Trish should have this key. She has all the clues at the location. I do, however, need to discard a random card from my hand. It's the one on the right after the first shuffle. Jeremiah Kirby. Goodbye, sir. My mouse is freaking out a little bit. Might need to replace it soon. Anyway, Trish is going to continue onward. She's going to go to the Esoteric Order of Dagon. It's 4 Shroud, 2 clues. It has one of the last keys on it. As double action, Parlay, test book 3. If you succeed, remove a barrier. I won't be doing that. And I also don't think I need these clues. So to shortcut myself to the next location. I don't feel like I need that at all. Oh, I do need the key. I'm an idiot. Let's not do that then. You know what? I've done this objectively wrong. I'm going to retcon my turn slightly, because I can expect clues to be here. And I was thinking that I didn't want to bring the Deep Wind Bull with me because he'd engage with me, but Tony's going to be killing a Deep Wind next turn, so it actually wouldn't matter if he re-engages with me. I'm going to have disengaged with him over here using Pendant of the Queen and moved with Shortcut. And I'm double checking, Shortcut does not have a not engaged clause like Pathfinder does. That's obviously so much better. I was thinking that him re-engaging with me was a problem, but he's actually going to move over and back here when I kill this Deep One. Also, because he engaged with Trish, I have to choose and discard a card. That'll be Faustian Bargain. We're at 7-4 here. I'm going to tap Well Connected, Investigate at 1,000,000, just don't autofail. What is with you, Trish? I think I just take 7-4 again. I'm going to play Working a Hunch. I'm done taking chances. I use Trish's ability and 2 resources. Just get both clues. I will also take the key, which was the blue key. And then actual action move down. First National, 3 Shroud, 4 clues. After you enter the location, from a connecting location, place 1 barrier between both locations. Except Parlay, lowest skill 2. If you succeed, remove a barrier. Well, I quite want this victory, so I'll be investigating here. I say that. Do I just want to play Intel Report? Minimize the chance I discard it next turn? That sounds good. I spend 4 resources, and I take 2 clues in my location. Otherwise, I'm 50% chance to discard Intel Report next turn instead of 1/3 chance. That's the end of the round. Tony's going to get hit for 1/1. The horror will go on Lonnie. The damage will go on Heavy Furs. Before the upkeep phase, I use resource to heal all of that away. And upkeep phase. Faustian Bargain and Tony does nothing, but Overpower actually does nothing. Black Market's kind of nice, but not really relevant, and the Deep Wind Bull readies, but he can no longer catch Trish. Not that any of that matters in the first place, because when Tony goes, he'll kill this enemy and pull him over here. This is a Lightning Bolt. It doesn't specify during your turn, does it? Yeah, I can use this Lightning Bolt anytime I want, so I'll go first on Tony. I'm going to, this man is not wanted, stab him at least twice. It is the same numbers it's always been. 1 damage at 6, 2 damage at 4. Cool, he's dead. Remove a curse. I'm going to use some Lightning Bolts on Trish to kill these 2 barriers. And to move over, I need to spend 6 clues though. And that'll be the clues spent. Tony moves in as his 3rd action, and I'm going to move down as my last action. The Deep Wind Bull moves right, by the way, when I kill that man. This location, the Gilman House, is forced after it's revealed. Choose a set-aside face-down key. It's the last one. And place it on this location without looking at it. Parlay, test fist or foot 2. If you succeed, remove a barrier. But that's Tony's whole turn, so we can test fist 2 to get rid of this next turn, provided we have nothing else to do. For Trish's turn, let's see what I discarded. It's the one on the right. It's Black Market. Nice. I'm going to investigate until I get this clue at 7-3. That's Cigarette Case and Milan. Not Shadow Agents. I'm going to use a charge of Pendant of the Queen to get the last clue testlessly. Because we're just running out of game time left that matters, so I don't feel the need to hold them anymore. Move down, investigate at 7-3. -1, that'll be a clue. I should have played Intel Report, because Obsessive is still here. But, oh well. I want to hold Intel Report, because I feel like there's got to be a 4 or 5 shroud location somewhere, right? It's weird that there wouldn't be. And the shadows is nice-ish. Yeah, I have to discard something here. Overpower is irrelevant. Oh, I don't. I just don't know how to count cards, apparently. 2 of 4 Doom. Got to do the Hunter phase. He chases after us. Evil cards. Tidal alignment. We both take 1 damage. Our location is fully flooded. Put the damage on Kirby and on the Heavy Furs. Over here, we have Riptide. I test foot, and if I fail, I'll be discarding something. Joe is potentially still helpful, so I might commit in the shadows to this. Actually, I'll commit Easy Mark. Ooh, I don't want to commit cards in Trish's hand, because that's making it less likely to hit an Intel Report. Or more likely for Obsessive to hit Intel Report is what I mean to say. But because I have base 3, I'm going to commit things to this. I'm going to commit just Easy Mark. That's not as good as I thought it was. Still, I'm testing at +1, probably going to fail. That's a fail. I just don't feel like I need Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. He removes from the game, though, so I feel like I'm messing something up by killing him. I'm going to toss my Gias. I have enough things in my hand worth committing that, like, I can just get the fist value from Gias, and because of this Innsmouth look, I'm not able to use investigation checks anyway. I'm also expecting really heavily to see a 4 or 5 shot location over here that Tony can't help with to begin with. And if he is getting clues, he should probably be doing it via Intel Report in the first place. So all of those combined, I think, make Gias kind of past relevance. I'm going to go first on Tony. During Tony's turn, I'm going to have Trish spend 3 clues to open this barricade to our west. I'm then going to have Tony use 1 action and most of his resources to play this Intel Report. Get these 2 clues. Going to move him left to Sawbone Alley. 4 Shroud, 4 clues. Test Brain 2 to remove barriers, or if you control 7 keys as a group, read Flashback X. We're 1 key short. Trish can trigger that in a hot second. And it doesn't say if investigators at this location have them, but I don't know if I can still legally move forward. It sure seems like I should be able to. I'm gonna have Tony move forward. My understanding of this is that if the investigators control 7 keys as a group is a cross-map statement. The little bookshop is 3 Shroud, 1 clue. We don't need anything from this, though. It's not a relevant clue. If we have 5 more keys, we'll get a Flashback 6 here as well. The parlay is a double action to remove the barrier above me, which I'll be doing, because I have nothing else to do with my time. Over here on Trish's turn, I draw my cards? Yeah, Tidal Alignment and Riptide. It just felt like the Mythos phase didn't happen. Nothing occurred that affected me in any way. For Trish, I'm going to investigate at 7-1 on Gilman House, or 7-3 rather. Glad I'm up 4. That will trigger Milan. But I think I'm just going to move over, investigate. Let's see what gets discarded. It's the one on the right. Easy Mark, nice. I'm going to move over and play Intel Report on this 4 Shroud location. And that will get me 2 of the clues. Have I dealt with Shadow Agents a second time? No, I haven't. So I'm very likely to draw them soon. I want to hold this last charge dependent on the Queen to deal with them easily. Or to teleport in case something bad happens. That's it for our turn. Hunter phase, the Deep Wind Bull chases after us, and Upkeep phase. Starting the Midnight Oil is fine, but irrelevant. Same with Reckless. My weakness being fine is kind of funny. Lurking Deep Wind's going to engage Trish, deal 1 damage to her. He's actually helpful, to be honest. He's helping us get clues faster. Over here on Tony. Inundated for Tony is the worst possible thing you could have drawn. It's not a big deal. We have so many clues, but it's still annoying. I guess the worst thing you could have drawn is the one that moves him into the Deep Wind Bull's location. That would clearly be worse. These tiny, tiny barricades that I place compared to the big ones already on the map are kind of funny. Did I forget to pick up the key on Trish? It's kind of important. Let's pretend we use that lightning bolt. There's no reason we wouldn't have. Alright, start of the turn. Trish is going to go first. We might be winning this round. Trish is going to activate this lightning bolt because we control all 7 keys. 6 on Trish, 1 on Tony. Flashback 7. Under Memories Recovered, we write down an intervention, and we add a +1 token to the Chaos Bag. So there's our +1, and I guess I'll keep track of what I've added as well. So, coming back to the game, we need these clues for victory still. I'm going to use the Pendant of the Queen as a fast action to evade this man. I guess it's functioning the same regardless of how I go about doing this. Actually, no, I don't do that. There's a better way to do it even. I'm going to not use my charge of Pendant of the Queen, and I'm going to use In the Shadows for the first time ever. I am no longer engaged with this man or anyone else, but he's not exhausted. I will then investigate. I don't think this is a High Shroud victory location, so I'm just going to use my last charge of Pendant of the Queen. I didn't use my ability Obsessive. Let's see if we're allowed to use In the Shadows. Cool. Burning the Midnight Oil gets discarded, and the Shadows gets played. Same plan. So like I was saying, we use our last charge of Pendant of the Queen, which is not an action, it's fast action, to get both of these clues because of Trish's ability. I then spend 6 clues to move through these 2 locations and kill all the barriers. Kill this one, move up. There's a parlay here for having 5 keys as a group, so let's go get flashback 6 and not forget to kill this barrier. Record a followed lead, and one of us may choose to add Teachings of the Order to the deck, immediately putting it into play under their control. So what is Teachings of the Order? Oh, it's this card, yes. This doesn't matter who I give it to, it's just a thing the group has. I'll give it to Trish, it feels like she's the one who should have the books. So far, Trish has taken 1 movement action. She has used a fast action with her ability, or her signature rather. Fast action with Pendant of the Queen to get 2 clues with her ability because of the Lurking Deep one. Moved up. Fast actions to kill the barriers with clues. We don't need the clue here for any reason, so I'll move up again. 1 shroud, no clues. After you enter this location, it is flooded. It is not. Test 2 foot. If you fail, take 1 damage, and action resign. Well, we've done everything. There are 2 locations with clues. They're both 1 clue locations that didn't have keys and didn't have victory. So that is full completion, unless there's a victory point enemy hanging out in the bag that I need to wait for. But I don't believe there is. There is not, so I will resign as Trish's second action, and 2 actions on Tony. I walk up and I resign. That's the scenario. We're out. You know, I felt a little bit behind when I was dealing with the mob in the square as the Shoggoth spawned. Like you were supposed to have dealt with the Shoggoth and then the mob shows up in the square. I realize now that's not what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to have the mob move out of the square and come to you, and then you get to the square after dealing with the mob, and these Shoggoth will spawn then. Because we had 4 full Doom left. We were substantially ahead of schedule. And there's no victory enemy set aside if that agenda were to flip, so nothing lost. Let's read our resolution. After hours of fleeing, sneaking, and hiding, you finally reach the abandoned railway station on the western edge of Innsmouth. The moment you see the 2 automobiles parked by the tracks, you break into a run. You're more than happy to leave this awful place behind. Record that the investigators made it safely to their vehicles and R1. Alright, we get Victory X, but we don't spend it yet, and we get an additional 2 experience for making it to our vehicles. Let's see what Victory X was. We have 1 victory here. 1 victory from Innsmouth Square. 1 victory from the jail. My mouse is freaking out a lot today. 1 victory from the First National Grocery. 1 victory from Sawbone Alley. 1 from the Shoggoth, and none from the mob. Totaling 6. We have 8 then because of the bonus experience. Let's go see if we actually get to spend it, or if this is the one time it tells the truth. I think this is the one time you actually don't get to spend it. It looks like this is the first time, and maybe if I remember correctly, the only time where you actually record your unspent experience and don't immediately spend it anyway. Tony's getting 10 as opposed to 8 because of Sharon's Obel. The official ruling on the devs to how stuff like this works is bad news because they give conflicting answers. There's actually 2 different answers that I've seen from different people. I don't remember which one gave which. But because they're conflicting answers, I'm just picking the one that I agree with, and the answer I agree with is that there has to be a deck upgrade phase where you just don't have this experience between every scenario in Innsmouth. Otherwise, if you exiled a card, you wouldn't be able to replace it with a level 0 card, and you would come in with a 29 card deck. So even though Sharon's Obel is sort of unambiguous, I'm also of the opinion that Arcane Research and Down the Rabbit Hole both work completely normally, because Exile as a mechanic would just break if those cards didn't. Anyways, that's it for In Too Deep. I've been rather incoherent. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then consider liking and subscribing. Really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next one.